welcome back. Today's tutorial is going to be this watercolor fern painting. I find plants so calming and soothing, and I really enjoy painting them. I hope you feel the same way and enjoy following along as we paint this together. So I've gone ahead and mixed two types of green. I have a lighter green, kind of more on the warm side, and then a darker green that's got a little bit of a hint of blue to it. And then I've traced out my stems in the lighter green. You can space yours out ahead of time as well if you'd like. And then we're going to start adding our leaves on them. So at the very tip of the first stem, we're going to add some leaves in light green. I'm just gonna keep them on one side of the stem this time to kind of show that it's angled off to the side, pointing upwards. And just gonna put this there in light green. A little bit more just to keep it wet. And I'm going to take some of the darker green and just dab it in a few areas to add some dimension to the leaf. And I'm going to do that throughout as we paint these. So as we move down, I'm going to start adding more stems branching off of the main stem, and then just little tiny spiky leaves on either side of each stem. We're going to repeat this same thing all over the plant. And again, taking some of that darker blue and dabbing it in some areas just to add a little bit of an interesting detail. And as we move down the stem, I'm just going to start making these branches a little bit larger, just to show how they get kind of bigger and thicker as we get to the center of the flower, or the plant, I should say. Okay, so there is our first main stem, and just add a little bit more detail there. And then we can just let that dry. So I'm going to move on to the next one beside it, which I'm kind of going to give the illusion of it hiding behind that one on the bottom. So we're going to stop before getting to the very center of the plant. Just start the same at the top with a smaller one, branching off of the main stem, and then add those new stems on the side. I kind of like to add that little point to the very tip of the stem, just to show how ferns have that sort of wild look at the end. Something I really love about them. I think it makes them really unique. So again, getting a little bit larger as we go towards the center. Add a little bit more dark there. I'll keep this one on an angle just to add some variety. And I think we can stop this one right about there. That's kind of when it goes hiding behind the other one. So we'll go start on the next one. And again, at the tip, just do some little leaves branching off of the main stem. I'll put this next one on an angle again. Add a little bit of dark there, and same sort of thing. We just keep moving on down and making them a little bit wider and bigger and bushier as they get closer to the center. this next one is really just hiding behind the other one. So I'm just going to draw a couple of them up here and make it quite a bit darker to show that it's in the background. There we go. Okay, on to the next one here. So I'll do the tip on an angle there. Okay, so my stem next to this one is completely dry now, and I want this one to look like it is in the foreground. So I'm going to start layering it over top a little bit here. Be sure not to work the paint too much because you don't want to lift the layer underneath. Just kind of layer it over top. And then we'll move on to the next one over here. I think that's enough on that one for now. And same kind of thing here, just layering over top a little bit there to make it look more full and bushy. And then I'm going to start layering all of these stems over top as we go down this one. And I'm going to use paint that's a little bit more of the dark green because I definitely want it to stand out on top of the layer below. And for the next stem, I'm not going to layer too many of them over top, maybe just about 2 or so at the very top here, but I really want the other one to stand out as being mostly in the foreground, so I'm not going to put too many of them over that other stem. So just one there, and one more over here at the very top. And for this last stem at the bottom, I'm just going to layer a little bit right at the center. So these ones just as usual, off to the side, nothing too much there. And just add one bushier one down here, and that should be good. We're just going to finish off with one more stem down here. And I know it looks pretty bare between all of these stems, kind of have a lot of white space. So we're going to mix up a brown with a little bit of a tint of green to it and go in and fill the detail of the main stems between all of these leafy green parts. So go in between all of them where we traced out the initial stems and just kind of darken that. And define the branch a bit. And once you're finished your branch detail here, while you have some brown, go in and add the dirt around the base of the plant. I've also mixed up a color for the pot. I've chosen kind of a rust color, sort of like a terracotta pot, but I'm going to let that dirt dry before I add the pot. While I have brown on my brush, I'm going to just go and add some little stems. A lot of stems in this painting. I'm going to go add them throughout just to have a little bit of detail on all these green parts. Really help it pop a little bit. And once you're done that, you can start painting your pot. And this will actually be your final finishing touch on the painting. I always find it so fun to add the pot at the end. It really ties it all together and it allows for so many customization options depending on what style of pot you want to go with. So many fun choices. It is one of my favorite parts of painting plants. And once that's done, we are all finished. So there you have it, a watercolor fern painting. I really hope you enjoyed following along with me. Thank you so much for joining, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time for another watercolor tutorial.